Perfect. Perfect. And replace the O-rings in here. I just realised this one is out of place, hopefully not damaged. So, never mind. I am a absolute freaking genius. So looks like it's all gonna have to come back out again. God. Alright, so this hunk of junk is finally back on with 2 gaskets in the correct spot that are brand new. And then happy finally. I know that you can't really see in there, but it's all gooed up on either side. Now, the reason we had to redo it was because the gasket fell and got, it should look like this. It fell and got cut in half. So this one was the old one, but it was too swollen to go back in the hole properly. So that was the new one, and I cut it in half. So to alleviate that, I ended up putting a bit of RTV, Black Max, whatever, on the backs of the O-rings, so just like one on each side, and then pushed it into place, and they stayed in place, thankfully. And I did something really bad. I cut out one layer of the MLS head gasket. So that part goes sort of from there across the front here, back there. And unfortunately it was a triple, like 3 pieces of steel or whatever like this. And so with all 3, they were sort of coming apart as we were trying to force this in without having to take the sump off, so it didn't really work, and we ended up pinching them and bending them a couple of times. So like you can see, they got pretty deformed just when we were trying to install them. So they were a real pain anyway. And yeah, thankfully they broke off right at the head. So they're very clean break right back in there. So one layer out, and we're able to squeeze it all in. So yeah, this is the wrong way to go about this job, but it did work. There are new gaskets in there. The worst thing that can happen now is an oil leak, or some gunk I've dropped into the sump has been picked up by the oil pump and then destroys the engine, but it's a future business problem. For now, it's fixed. Slap the rest of it back together, and Mum's got to work car again. Alright, so pretty much the whole front thing is back together. So I got these 2 bolts in nice and tight. This one, the trick I used was the correct E-drive socket thing, and then a universal joint with a bunch of tape wrapped around it to keep it relatively steady, and then some wobble joints to get like around this corner. You know, just get creative and try not to strip it. So once that's all back together, pretty much, you know, got to put the water pump on, got to put this front timing thing on, and then the rocker cover, all the accessories, so power steering pump, alternator, supercharger, air conditioning compressor, they all just bolt straight to this pretty much. And then all the wiring, and then I got to put the intake and all that setup back on, and then crossover pipes and whatever else is in here. Then I need to, well, before that I need to flush the coolant system. So I might take this out because although it didn't have oil in it, there's a lot of scum still from the last time the head or the oil cooler failed, and it just sort of all got pumped into here from the rest of the engine. So I'll pull that out, flush the rest of the cooling system, and yeah, change the oil filter back here, and then pretty much just button it all up. I'm going to run it just with water in the cooling system to begin with, and then once I'm happy that it's all sealed up and nothing else is broken, I'll drop some water out and put some coolant back in, and yeah, it's pretty much done.
Sounded bad?
Real bad.
Yep.
Alright, so the Mercedes is all back together and hopefully fixed, so I've just got to make sure everything works, and then, you know, top up the oil and put coolant in it and put the under trays back on and everything. But it sounded really bad for a little while there. It turns out I just didn't prime the oil system enough, so now it sounds alright, so fingers crossed it stays that way.